How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we're going over the deck I used in last Friday's Webcam Locals, being a Bad Company Meta-Cooler deck. So this is a special and janky Meta-Cooler list because it uses all 5 colors and is hella fun, hella interesting, and great fun to play. If you want to check out how I did, always check out the video or the stream. You can either go on my Twitch, which is a link down in the description below to go and watch the VOD, because that's still up. Or if you just want to watch the matches, not watch the little bit of them in between, or see the box opening I did at the end, then you can go ahead to my YouTube channel, which also, well, you're already on, and you can check out the video from Monday, which I had just the games up. Now, I've been trying to, with the Webcam Locals, play a different deck every week because I find that's the whole point with locals, is just to have fun, try out different, it's a nice place to try out different decks, enjoy it yourself, and I've been trying to do a different one every week and try not to overlap. I think only 2 or 3 times I've played a deck twice, not twice in a row, but twice during it, and it's a lot of fun to just try out different things. Like even with the next one coming up, I'm playing my version of Freezer Prison, which is more like Freezer Burn. I'm trying to keep thinking. I also having a vote on that as well. I can do a vote now where people can vote for what my deck, the next deck I play, out of 3 options. And for this one, we got a list. I can't take full credit for this list because I didn't create this. It's just a list. Our team ended up receiving, and it looks so much fun. We wanted to try and play it and try it out. And I've made some changes since, even on the day just before playing, I wanted to change some cards up. But this is the initial list, and then after we've gone through the initial list, I'll go over the list where I've made changes to it. But it's a fantastic fun list, and if you're a fan of Meta-Cooler, or playing Jank, or playing like a 5-color deck, then this is probably going to be exciting for you. And so, before we get into it, I do want to say, if you're not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe. It keeps you updated with my video as and when they drop. And plus, we're only 8 subscribers away if we get to 400, and that triggers a giveaway. So if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe and help trigger that giveaway when we get to 400. So we just see 8 more when we get there. Can you help us get there? Hopefully you can. And also by clicking the notification bell, you get alerts to when my videos drop, so you can get notified when I do drop videos, which is normally at least 2 to 3 times a week. And also, as well as that, feel free to like the video if you do enjoy it, if you do enjoy the style, deck profile, or the deck itself. And also comment down below if there's any questions you have, or anything like that, and I'll try my best to comment as best I can. So, without further ado, let's get into the video and discuss the deck. So, as you can see, it is the green Meta-Cooler leader, not only the other ones, the newest Meta-Cooler leader, the green one, and it's got some interesting, it's got some nice effects. So, first one is an auto, which most Meta-Coolers have, which as soon as you start the game, you get to start off with the field card, and this one you start off with the Big Yeti Star Nightmarish Regeneration, so that's the new field card. So that's not what it triggers at the start. So you technically, if you're playing 50 cards, you start off with 49, so you get that advantage there by deck fitting a lot quicker. And then it's auto when it attacks is auto burst 2, add 1 card from your life to your hand. So you've got to add a card from your life to hand. When this card attacks, play up to 1 infinite multiplication Meta-Cooler from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So you don't have to take a life if you don't want to from the thing, because it is before the cost, so you don't have to pay the cost. But essentially, it bursts 2, take a life. Then when you attack, you get to play one of those infinite multiplication Meta-Cooler from your deck. So that's quite cool. And its awaken is when your life's at 4 or less, you draw a card, and then you play 1 infinite multiplication cooler from your drop area and flip this card over. So you want to hope by the time you awaken that you have 1 in drop, so you can play, because if you don't have 1 in drop, you can't get back, because it's not from drop or deck, it's just from drop. And then you flip over, so you get some nice bursting to help fulfill your multicolor goal with the burst 2. And then now when you awaken, you're now a Meta-Cooler core, unlimited power. You now have a permanent, which is irrelevant, but it's basically if you're 20 more infinite multiplication Meta-Cooler in your energy, battle area, and drop area, against 5k. So that's quite that's not going to trigger, but it's quite a cool effect. And then we have the auto now is no burst 2 or anything. It's just when it attacks, you draw a card, so you draw, and then you play it to 1 infinite multiplication Meta-Cooler from your deck, shuffle your deck. So now instead of bursting 2 and taking a life to then just play 1 from your deck, you now draw 1 and play 1 from your deck, so you can still churn out all these little 15Ks. And that's relevant because if you didn't know from the set this came out in, this set is it set 17? I think it is set 17. Yeah, this is set 17. So for set 17, we got more. We got like a reprint of the yellow one, so now we can get in foil. But we also got a red and a green one as well to go with the different colours of Meta-Cooler there are. And now, so as we get, so that's all the leaders. So essentially, it's bursting to help try and get cards in drop for your multicolour shenanigans, and also allows you to awaken quicker to flip over, so you can start getting the draw. And also all the while still spamming out his Meta-Coolers, and also being green gives access to some like really nice things. But first of all, the field card we're playing is the Big Star Nightmares Regeneration. This doesn't really play much of a role in it. It's just it's just a field card. Does the deck fin from it has a permanent, where it's also treated as Big Getty Star, because there's some field cards that are just Big Getty Star. I think the only effect you're really potentially going to use off it is the first activate main, which is a burst 1 by paying 1. Switch this card to rest mode, then look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Play a 1 infinite application Meta-Cooler among them, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's just basically to get that extra burst 1 and just look at the top 3 to see if you can filter through before doing any draws or anything like that. If you've got any draws. So yeah, the field card doesn't play much of a role. It's just a field card that you start with to fin your deck a bit quicker, and also have something to tap for a riposte as well if you're going against yellow. But one of the main things about this is it's got a big focus on spirit boost. Like quite a few there's a few effects in here that require a unison these spirit boosts. So we start off with Demigra as our unison of choice, because this is a pretty good one because the fact that you can play it as early as turn 1, and it can maintain markers quite nice. That's like the whole thing with Demigra, is it can come down quite early and maintain markers, so you've got the whole green unison package live as soon as turn 1, and hard to dismantle it, because it's got that permanent where if you would lose a marker by an attack, you can take a life instead, and that helps you get your leader down to awaken sooner, which is quite nice as well. Then it's got a little nice bit of pressure, being +1 becomes 15k, and the -3 is better, like some nice barrel removal where you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with entry cost of 3 or less, ignore and barrel and KO it. So you can get 2 removals for -3. This is quite nice of it, but normally you're just going to use +1 and you use it for spirit boosting. But make sure that if you do use spirit boost, you do it before you do the +1. Because if you do the +1 and you don't attack with it and then spirit boost, you're going to lose that 10k because you lost a marker from it. So bear in mind for that. And play 4 copies, because this is what you want to try and mulligan for, to make sure you get a unison down to get the markers on it for the spirit boost effects. And of course, with a green unison, you're going to be playing the green unison package. So you got the 4 Mecha Freezer, not Mecha Freezer, 4 Freezer Charismatic Villain, fantastic counter play. Literally just, as long as you got a unison with 2 markers, play it, and when it's played, you KO something your opponents that's 7 or less. Not ignoring barrier though. And then we got 4 Dormant just to help us extend turns like survival a bit better. Like you can play it for free if you've got a green unison on board, and then basically you just use it. If your leader's money green, which ours is, you use it. KO any number of battle cards up to the cost of 2 on your opponent's battle field, and additionally you could discard a green card to make it so your opponent can't attack, can only attack 1 more time for that turn. So this is like a fantastic floodgate, and it's a hard one to stop as well. So if you're trying to, if your opponent's trying to go in, you drop this, unless they can kill you on the next attack or that attack, you're going to survive to the next turn. I'll play 4 copies of that, because green just gives me to charge them, and also they're our main thing. And the next thing that goes, has a focus on requiring a unison. They're nice. I thought like a really good tech for a lot of green decks nowadays is Son Goku Spirit Bomb Unleashed. This is a nice one where it could be served as a nice thing to help finish off unisons, while also giving you just a nice 1 cost 15k attacker, and also can become a finisher if need be, because it's got activate main, which is limit 1, so you can play one turn. That's why I only play 2. And 1 for green, if you have 3 more energy, so you got to wait till 3 energy, and you have a unison in play. You play this card from your hand, then choose option 1 opponent's unison cards, and remove a marker from it. So this is really nice. If you get your opponent's marker unison down to 1, you can just play this and remove it without having an attack to finish off that last marker, and then carry on attacking, or even finishing with this card's second skill, which activate main once per turn, Spirit Boost X. on a green unison. This card gains 5k power for the turn for each marker you removed from unison using this skill, and then if you remove 2 or more markers, it gains double strike. So you can make it at very least by removing just 2 markers, 25k double strike for 1 energy, which is fantastic. So it's a nice little way to help finish off. And then we have the different infinite multiplication Meta-Coolers we have. So we play 6 green ones because this deck is focused green. You want to be charging green, apart from when you get to one of our cards, which you'll see that we charge. And then we have 2 of the yellow. So this adds. So as I said, this is a 5-color Meta-Cooler deck. So we're going for multiple different colors, and this is our yellow in the deck because with the leader you can play it straight from the deck, get out, and once it's out on the board, it's fine wherever it goes after that. And then we also play 2 red ones as well, because it's the same thing. You're going to be trying to play the different color ones first, and then the green ones after, so you can get those colors out quickly. And so this is quite fun, because this is one of the decks where you can play at least a few colors very easily, because the leader can actually play them out from the deck, which is nice. And then next card we have is our super combo of choice. Like normally for green, you always want to go for Paragus, because Paragus is, unless it's got a restriction in your deck, like with Green Freezer, you want to play Paragus. Unless you can, you play this. If you can't, you've got to play a different kind of green super combo. But normally Paragus is the best green super combo to play, because you get the look at see the 2 cards you draw before warping one. But with this, and the fact that your leader only plays the Meta-Coolers from the deck, you're going to be wanting to play the Great Saiyan Man, because of the fact that if you draw into some of these Meta-Coolers, you're not going to be you want to not one of them in your hands, you want to win them in deck, because sometimes it's been in your life, and you want them in your deck so you can play them out from your lead. So Great Saiyan Man's fantastic for when you get down to 4. You can super combo on some other attack, put the Meta-Cooler to the bottom of your deck, draw 2, and now you know there's definitely one in there for when you need attacks to play a 15k from the deck. So that's the reason behind the super combo choice. There's one thing that you do need to have all green energy, which is why we all charge only green in this. We don't charge the multicolours, with the other colours. There's only one other card we charge that isn't green, but we'll see when we get to it. And then here's one of the main ones that we need Spirit Boost for, and that is Dark Mask King Spirit Boost Sovereign. So this is another way to help Floodgate, and so the turns a bit easier. And one of the many reasons we play multicolours in this deck. So this is Dark Mask King, Spirit Boost Sovereign. It's got counter attack, which needs Spirit Boost 1, so you need to take a mark off Unison as a cost. And the skill is negate the attack, play this card, and then your opponent can only attack with battle cards 1 more time for the turn. So this is fantastic. So you just basically negate the attack, Spirit Boost 1 to negate the attack, play a 20k as a beat stick, and then make it so they can't attack with battle cards anymore apart from one more time for the turn. And if you negate an attack like for their leader or Unison, then that's even better. And it does have 2 permanents. The first one is irrelevant because our leader's not saying, but the second one is the reason we play multicolours, multiple colours in this deck, and that is because for each colour among monocolor cards in your drop and warp, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1, and it even states that black is a colour, and that's why we play more colours. So if you've got in your drop a yellow, red, blue, green and black, this becomes a 1 cost negate counter attack that can floodgate your turn as well, so you don't have to rely on dormant. So this is fantastic. This is great, and it's very easy to do that because, as I said, you're mostly green, so you can easily get that green. You're milling off you're bursting from lead and from the fill card. You can easily get out 2 colours at least, the green, the yellow and red here, and then combo them off if need be to get them in your drop to make this cheaper. And you got other ones as well that you're gonna see as you draw through. And we play full 4 copies of this because it's a great floodgate. The only issue with this is there are now decks that have a unison focus like Green Cooler and Yellow Goku, so this works a little bit less against. But still, Dormant is still a fantastic floodgate for those decks. And then we've got a secret rare choice, being Majin Buu, Incarceration of Demonic Evil. This is a nice one, so if you get because you can spam out a board, if your opponent wants to put out a floodgate, you can always just pay free to negate that floodgate, carry on the attack, and then drop a 40k double striker as well. And because our leader is mono green, the permanent is live, where if your leader card is mono green, or a black Demon Realm race card, and your opponent activates a count. What does it say? And you're treating this card's counter skill. Oh, you're activating this card's counter skill. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 7. And then yeah, if your leader's like the Realm Race card, then you want to then it gets no specified cost as well. Essentially, the counter attack is just if your leader card, if the attacking card, if a card other than your leader card is in battle, negate the counter attack skill and play this card. So essentially, you can just not do it on a leader. You gotta make sure you don't do it on a leader swing. Do it on the ever card swings. But it's just nice to stop the attack once you've got a big board. Stop the floodgate from coming down. Play 4K double striker and just continue attack. Just keep putting pressure on. Because there are quite a few different secret rares for green that are very good. Like you could put the Cell if you wanted to, because you got the green and yellow. Just spam the board loads of those and ever battle cards as well. And then you've got the Ever Imagine Build Kai Absorb one. It's still unisons because you need Spirit Boost, and not many of them apart from the Goku here specifies a color unison for its skill. And you also got the Ape as well, so you've got quite a few good green secret rares, but this one feels like the better one just because you want to build up a wide board. You just keep spamming with different multiple colors, and then stop the floodgate negate when they try to stop you for the turn. Then we've got another card that requires Spirit Boost and is part of the red cards. So we've got some more red cards in here as well, and that's Dark Broly Spirit Boost Berserker. This is unique 6-drop, it's 30k, with a permanent where it's also treated as black in warriors as well. It's also got a nice auto when it's played. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, minus 15k power for the turn, so you've got a minus there, so you can kind of deal with you can deal with Indestructible if it's got 15k or less. And then the way you play this out is by activate main, which is limit 1, Spirit Boost 1 by paying 1 energy, and if you have 3 or more energy, and you remove a red, blue, green, and yellow card from your drop area to warp, you get to basically play this card from your drop area or warp and against critical for the turn. So this is another reason. This is another reason why you need the unison so focal while we're playing multicolor as well, because you need the Spirit Boot take a mark off unison, and then it's a turn free play by paying 1 energy, and you need to warp from your drop green, yellow, red, and blue to play this card out. But you get a 30k critical attacker for the turn, and then you get to evolve on top of this as well, because turn 3 you get the 1 energy for this, so you got 2 energy for Dark Broly, Unbridled Destruction. So this nice little combo to act turn 3, where you could drop this Dark Broly out by warping the 4 and playing this. Swing for 30k crit, which is going to be hard to combo out there, so if you're going to take it or waste cards from the hand comboing out of it. And then you get to evolve 2 on top of this, which has deflect, so it can't be stopped. And then it has a nice effect where if your opponent has 3 or more life, and there's a card underneath it, well there will be, when this card is played you get to switch active mode, so you get to attack again as a 30k, just not with critical. And then your opponent can choose 1 card from the hand, drop, and board to warp. And if they don't send anything or send 2 or less, you get to choose a card in their life and put it in the drop area. So it's nice where if they've got no board after you drop this, you get to choose 1 card from the life and crit it, and then swing again 30k while applying a nice little bit of pressure as well there. And we only play 2/2, just if you see him, it's pretty nice. And normally you want to mill this Dark Broly and keep all the 7-drop, but it's not always going to be the case. But still, if you do draw this one, you can always combo off as well. The next card we got is one of the newest additions that came in this set as well, is the Cell the Ultimate Bio-Android. So this is our blue, and it's fantastic as well because, like I said, this is really a green boss monster just with blue as its color. Because its activate main is limit 1. You pay 1 blue, 1 green, and 2 of any other color to play this card from your hand or energy, and it gains double strength for the turn. So that's the reason why I say it's a green card, because in a blue deck you need to have green to play with it, but in a green deck you don't need to worry about having blue because it counts itself as the blue as well to play it from your energy. And this is normally from turn 4 onwards you're going to be charging this to then pay 4 including itself, play it from your energy, wipe your opponent's board with its first auto, or when this card is played. From your energy, you choose all your opponent's battle cards and bottom deck them, which is fantastic. It just doesn't ignore barrier, which is, it'd be bust if it did. But it gets if your opponent's got a full board with no barrier, you get to wipe it. And then on this card's attack, once per turn, if your opponent uses a negate, counter attack, you have to place one card from their hand at the bottom of the deck. And considering a lot of floodgates need to do things like discard or so like that, or bottom deck, you're normally making them pay 3, including the card that they're combo playing, to stop one attack or reduce the number of attacks for that turn. And you play 3 of these because you want to kind of see one so you can charge it to put that pressure on with this later on. And also, so if you mill it, you've got it for the spirit boost, as the colours for like Dark Mask King and Dark Broly is here as well. Then next we're playing one Son Goku Strength of Legends. This is one which, well, in theory, it was nice because even you're not going to get the second active main off because you're going to be charging green, apart from blue for cell, so then play it from energy. But this is nice because if you've got one of each colours before you warp it with Dark Broly, then you get to play this as a free 35k attacker. And it's a theory, like it didn't come up very useful for me. Like when I saw it, I didn't have the colours in the drop, or I never saw it. Like with some cards in the deck, because it doesn't draw too much with this build. But it's just this was just a nice 35k because when you get to 4 or more energy, and you have one of each color in your drop, being yellow, yellow, green, red, and blue, you can play this for free. It's quite nice. And then we've got 3 Haru. So we wanted some mono black cards as well to help with Dark Mask King to go all the way down to 1 energy, and there's quite a few different options. You have the the 1-drop Black Mass Saiyan. You have Koitsukai, but we went with Haru because there's been a pickup of yellow and green decks in the format. Like blue and red are still there, but there's been a pickup of green and yellow decks, and we thought this would be a nice one because either it has the first also is nice where you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to your drop area, so you can help put mill to help get the colours in your drop for Dark Mask King. And this was a nice thing where if you go against anything that's not green or yellow, you just discard it if you draw it, or you just combo off when you draw it to help combo attacks. Or if you play it and if you have it and then you're against green or yellow, you get to play it and then get an extra energy back every turn. So you can pay 1 for something like Spirit Boost on Goku or Dark Broly when you get turn 4, and then you can play this to pay for free and tap 4, which is quite nice because of his second auto, and it just gives you a nice 15k crit attack as well, which is quite fun. And then for the next one, we have 2 copies of Homicidal Clones. Mostly every deck plays their token negate now. Like every color's got it, and every deck mainly plays its token negate because the fact you can negate 2 attacks by negating the first attack and playing a token blocker to then block the other attack, which is fantastic. And this is one of the 3, because the black one has combo power as well, where if you don't use the token to block the next attack, you could at least use it as combo power for the next attack or to attack with. And then last card, this was originally what we were going to play, the free Fuse of Master Deity's Wrath, just because we can make use of either using Frieza or using a Goku and Infinite Multiplication Cooler to drop it, which is quite interesting. But I felt it was a bit too much runs because sometimes I would mulligan for the Demagogue and not see it, or I would and then I wouldn't be able to drop Frieza to have this with it to drop it. So I decided for the tournament when I played it, I decided to cut this to put in a 3rd copy of Homicidal Clones. Put in something else as well. What was it? Alright, I think I put in an extra copy of Homicidal Clones. I put in an overwhelm of the Mirror Assault from the Sky, so we have an overwhelm as well, because this Dark Mask King still get the power reduction, the cost reduction, but after cards are in warp, not just drop. And also put in the new Golden Frieza Unison to help as a never finisher and make use of if I do get Demagogue, I can put that down to have another way to finish off and then still have it for Spirit Boost. So that was changes I made to not have, and then put this in the side and put those 3 cards in. That was the only difference between the original list we got and what I played. But that was essentially the list. So the aim was basically to try and mulligan for Demagra. Like if you didn't see Demagra, you put everything back to get Demagra. To try and drop this, have the keep accumulating the markers, keep holding them there, using them, trying to get the different colours in drop by playing from the leader. These guys, I'm running comboing off with them being killed, milling as well with the burst and on both the field and the lead to get them down. And then normally it was turn 1 Demagra, turn 2 depending on what you have. Turn 3, I mean a nice thing to do would be if you got all the colours, drops Dark Brody Spirit Boost, you get 30k critical attack, and then drop the Dark Brody on, put some more pressure, make him lose a life. And then turn 4 would be the charge cell, play cell, continue on, just keep doing that like every turn. Drop stuff, you have never cell, drop it, and just fill up a board and spam, which was quite fun. And then on when you build up a board, have the secret rare to stop there, flood it, negate, and just push through. That was the idea. And it was fun. You can see how it did, as I said in the video. But that was the initial list, and as I said as well, I do have an updated list about how I would play future. And this is the updated list. So hopefully you can see it properly. This is the list I would have preferred to play. I'd have a bit testing beforehand. Because I found I've switched out the demograph for the Meta-Cooler, Terrified Horde, because I found that you didn't drool too much. Like you're like bursting a lot, but you weren't drawing too much. And like only with the leader would it awaken you drawing 1. So and also I found that with the demograph, like if you didn't see it turn 1, then you just the unison later wasn't great because you are paying a lot more markers, well, not more energy to play it for like more. And then not having much open for defense and just having it there. And once you're at 4 life or less later on, you don't want to be taking life when you put an attack your leader, so you don't get a combo. The combo for your cards to get the colours in drop. So with Meta-Cooler core instead, because hopefully by turn 3 you can find unison if you don't open with it. And at least this way it gives you a bit more draw power as well, because it helps you get the cards in drop. Because if you need a certain colour in drop, you can always use the effective leader to discard +1. To off the unison to +1, discard the colour you need in drop, to then draw 2 cards, and also getting you 2 attacks every turn to 15k because it's a 15k itself, and a free token. And if it does survive with 4 more markers on, you can get a little more attacks in a turn where you feel like you can finish off and pressure them. But it's just nice because it comes down to P4 markers until you play it. You get the draw 2 cards by discarding a card you want in drop. Just say you don't, like say you're playing against a card, you got this Dark Broly in hand, you can use the effect to discard it, draw 2, and the next turn you can play the Dark Broly out because you have energy then. And also 1 copy of Vegeta's Resolute Agent Destruction, because it doesn't really have much barrier removal on here, and as I said, every deck needs barrier removal. And it's a great one for turn 4 if you don't have your unison down or your unison's about like close to dying. You can just go, at least use the effect +1, get a token, swing with them, and then if you need barrier removal as well, pay for the board wipe your opponent's by discarding 1 card, hopefully a card that you want in drop, and then apply a 25k double strike crit. And if they leave it alone, it's going to be hard to take off 5 markers then from a unison, that's 20k. And if you can survive the turn with a dormant and they leave the markers on, you then have the -5 as well, the rip parts of the hand, which is quite cool. But those are the 2 unison switches I would be like, so from 4 Demagra and 1 of the Freezer to 4 Meta-Cooler and 1 Vegeta Resolute Agent Destruction. We've got the same for most of them, so we've got still the same 4 on the Spirit Boost package. We've got the 4 Freezer, Dormant, Master, then the 2 of the Dark Brolys and the Goku. And then we still have the same amounts of Meta-Cooler as well, because I thought it seemed fine, like yellow, unless you're very unlucky and hit both of them life, then you're going to have at least the first yellow to play from the first Meta-Cooler you play. Still have the Great Saiyaman, still have the Cell, still have the Haro Haro. I was debating with the Haro Haro if I wanted to switch out for saying like Dark Power Black Saiyan or Quartz Sky, because the thing with Quartz Sky is a really good one, but then when you use this effect, it's removed from game, not warp, so it then doesn't reduce for the Dark Mask King. So I decided to stick with Haro Haro because it was either between this Haro Haro or the Dark Power Black Saiyan, and I felt like Haro Haro is a little bit better because, well, for best of 1 pre-side, you can have Haro Haro main because it's safe siding in and out, so it saves you that bit of time because you only have a minute, where the Webcam Locals you have 2 minutes. And Dark Power Black Saiyan is good for certain matchups, but is easier to side that in for certain ones. But best of 3, I'll probably switch this out for dark power black saying instead, and then have this side in for against greedy yellow. As said, we have the overall being a mirror assault disguise to give you that double strike pressure, and then be able to, at the end of the turn, if you can't kill them, have that draw a card as well, and then have that energy back open for dormant if you don't have a unison, or for dark masking. And then we have the same secret rare because I felt this one's still pretty good to force through pressure as well. If you build up a wide board, which you can, especially if you've got the -4 live on your unison, your Meta-Cooler. And then 1 champer just to help with any swing being double strike, which is quite cool, which is quite a nice thing. So like yeah, even being able to turn the Dark Broly and Bridal Destruction if you drop it into Double Striker or your leader as well. It's a very nice thing, plus it adds the red as well for the colors. And then yeah, 3 homicidal clones to help defend a lot easier, to help survive the turn, because as long as you survive later turns and you can build up your resources and your drop and stuff for the multicolors, then you can just go ham then. And this is quite nice to negate 2 attacks as well, and help awaken quicker in the early turns. And as well as that, I do have a sideboard with it as well. So if you're interested in playing this and want to play it properly, then I do have a sideboard to go with it. So I have King Vegeta Invasion Command as a switch out for the Meta-Cooler. So if you need barrier removal or want to go with the control route, then you've got King Vegeta Invasion Command. Also, as I said, I've got the Dark Power Black Saiyan in there to switch out for Haras. That's a straight switch for them. And we've got 3 Vegetas protected as loved ones, because once again I dislike playing against blue, so I've always got blue hate. And then this Prince Vegeta, Prince of Destruction Vegeta Prideful Warrior is a good one for, because there's a lot of, as I said, there's more unison focused strategies like with Green Cooler and Yellow Goku, and there's some really good unisons like the Boo unison in blue and stuff like that, which are very good unisons. And there's not much in terms of unison hate. Even though in the Unison War and Block into the end, there's not as much Unison hate, and Green has some of the best Unison hate really, with cards that remove markers. And this one's a fantastic one because it's a 4 cost, but it has Deflect and Triple Strike, and it has Servant as well, meaning it's a 30k Triple Striker for 4 energy. But the great thing about it is that if your lead, when it's played, as long as your leader is mono green, you can choose up one of your opponent's unisons and remove 3 markers from it. So if your opponent's drops something that's got a 4 marker unison, and you take a marker off it by swinging your lead, coming up to get a marker off it, then you can straight up play this, remove the last 3 markers from it so it's gone. They no longer have it, like if they have Boo and you take a marker off it, they no longer have it to bottom deck a battle card or block now. It's gone. And they have the next turn to draw them cards. If you're playing against an Evercolored Baby and they manage to go down to 3 markers, thinking, yeah, we'll go down the lower markers and then take cards from underneath it to protect it, you can just remove markers, rest of the markers with this, it's gone, bye bye. And as well as that, yeah, just as a nice way to finish off the game as well, right? Moving their unison and then finish them off with the Triple Striker as well, which is quite, and at 30k it's not too bad. And since if you've got a unison play, you can have it, you don't have to worry about energy for dormant as well. Then we have 2 Cocoonsa to deal with things like the U7, like is our way to deal with like the U7 Goku, the 8-drop Goku and stuff like that. And just if you've got play something like even the cell, if you want to drop a cell, you want to use this to get rid of it, because you'd still be losing 2 cards from this, like most floodgate negates and stuff against cell or against the Goku, so you'd be using this to kill them when they attack with them. And then 2 Focus Breakthrough, so if your opponent's got floodgates and you've got a lot of them, you can always use this to pay 1 energy to stop it from coming down and continue going through, because you spam the board as well. That is the list. Well, that's the update list to go with the main list I used, and I hope you enjoy it. It is quite very fun to play, and looking forward to getting some Meta-Cooler and stuff to try this again in a later webcam locals to try again with my updated list. But once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.